couple more days for this, right? Couple more days. No, 2 more weeks till the end of the patch. 2 more weeks to the end of the patch. So this is the beginning of week 5. Homu World Tour, which is the Fall Girls event, having a rerun. You know, get your 2 games in a day, or your 200 currency farm the day, or you can keep grinding it. On the Trail is back. This is your Taurus event. Don't forget to do your Taurus raid this week, but the next 2 weeks will be mostly just this event. I like this event because you can do it all in one sitting if you want to. Each of these you run once to get your level up currency, and then after you level up to level 5, you run it again for your max score, and then, you know, good to go. You basically don't even have to do this now if you want to wait for all the time gates to go away. So, like, wait 5 days and then you do it all in one sitting. Easy. Or you can do it day by day as it opens up. Terry event is still going on. I still need to finish the last part of the story. Graseo outfit bingo is back. So if you really want to min-max, you can use your resets and try to get fish for a gold board. Before you pull on the boards. As you can see here, I'm just saving up my golden keys. And also, a lot of players, maybe on round 4 or 5, you'll just spam resets so that you don't have to go extra. Right? Guaranteed to appear between rounds 4 and 6. So if you get to round 4, you can spam resets to try to fish for the outfit. That's one way you can try to save. Starry Wishes will continue to the end of the patch. I still need to do one small top-up. Fan art contests. There's a couple of free crystals. There's like 20 free crystals, 999 asterite, and some skill mats if you go to visit the website and do the shares and stuff. I might participate. I don't know if I have time and energy, but I should, right? I should make an effort here. Draw Himiko. Chapter 40. I felt like Chapter 40 was a lot of fun. So, you know, if you're a Fuhua fan or if you just like story in this game, make sure you complete all the stuff that you can. The extended rewards will persist. The extended rewards will persist until the end of the arc. So there's no rush to do it all right away, but it is better to do it earlier than later so that you don't have to worry about it. Collab outfits. If you haven't done so, make sure you play the trial stages. You can get 20 crystals for each of the collab outfits, even if you're not planning on purchasing the outfits. I did because I thought these outfits look great. This bingo board should still be ongoing for those that haven't completed it. I've completed it, so it's complete, marked complete for me. I don't know if it shows up here in the corner. Yeah, it shows up here, marked complete. And then Fan Art Hall of Fame. I was a 2021 Fan Art Contest finalist. That painting did not make it into the Hall of Fame, but you know what did make it into the Hall of Fame? My triple support imaginary side stage from the middle of last year. That made it to the Hall of Fame. So if you haven't done so already, you can check out this website. This has been up for a long time. But if you visit the website, you can click a share link on your favorite work, and you can get like 20 crystals there too. 20 to 40 crystals, I don't even remember. And as you can see here, right, this is the 20 crystals from sharing the contest page, or visiting the contest page and filling out your card or your invite card and all the stuff. Then we can do your Hoyo Lab sign-ins and all that. So then, let's take a look at the banners. We talked about Luminous Prayer last week. It's kind of a scam banner, just avoid it. We talked about Silverwing. You know, if you're whaling, okay, good luck. And if you're not whaling, just easy skip. Right, that's the long and short of it. A lot of the longtime players that are whaling anyways, I've already gotten her to double S. So this is kind of like for catch up. But if you're low budget F2P, this is chances are you're probably going to be skipping this. It's just not efficient crystal value for most players. Expansion supply. Miss Pink Elf. No. Just save. She's farmable. The only players that would be rolling here is if you're absolutely whale ready, capable of brute forcing the banner. And or she's your favorite character. Other than that, just save. Just save. Save for next patch. Easy. If you can snipe the weapon somehow, preferably you snipe the weapon from like a firepower supply or like a mini spending event over the summer. The rest of the gear, Elysia regular set, is craftable from Foundry. It does take a bit, and it is kind of the oldest of the G4s at this point. But it's still farmable, you know? Take a look at the off rates. Key of Radiance, old meta-ish now. Pretty old meta. It's 2021. It's a 2021 weapon. Same thing with Crusher Bunny. Keys of Oblivion, Miracle Kissy Pillow. You could find some utility with both of them, because you can use them both on Prometheus and Carol. That one's okay. Sanguine Gaze is for Nyx. Starlance Prime for Dea Ancora and Valkyrie Gloria. And then Whispers of the Past for Miss Pink Elf. I keep wanting to say Elf Elysia. Miss Pink Elf. These off rates aren't that attractive for weapons. Crusher Bunny has nice placeholder utility, and so does Key of Radiance in a few scenarios. Keys of Oblivion and Miracle Kissy Pillow, surprisingly, probably the more useful, because Prometheus is modern and Carol is still useful with Prometheus. Next patch we're getting the brick, so Keys of Oblivion has already been outdated in a lot of situations, right? There's a couple of situations where Keys of Oblivion is still good, but for the most part, we haven't been using this in a long time. Stigmata! Wow! The off rates for the Stigmata are actually okay. So Elysia set itself is probably not priority because you can farm it, but you know, if you're on a progression account, or if you're a new account and you're planning on whaling here just to try to catch up faster, Paganini has some nice utility. M-Piece is great standalone, MB is great together in a physical team with charge attack, like for Carol. Turgenev top and bottom together. Turgenev 3 set you can still use in a few situations too. You know, Turgenev top and bottom is almost universally useful for Elemental if you're not like maxed out with the latest gear. Wang Zhenyi, top and bottom still quite good. 3 set is still quite useful for Official. We've used it a few times on other Lightning DPSs too, as placeholder. But yeah, this is like a G3.5. Zhenyi top and bottom is quite good. And then Ozlog top and bottom you can also use as like a Turgenev top and bottom substitute. So Ozlog TB, powerful. Ozlog M, great standalone. But a lot of the sets do want you to have the B piece. So Turgenev, Zhenyi, and Ozlog, like the sweet spot would be TB together. Of those 3, Ozlog M is probably the strongest for standalone M piece, and then Paganini M is also strong standalone. So Paganini you want MB, Turgenev you want TB, Zhenyi you want at least TB, and then Ozlog you want TB or M standalone. Ozlog TB will give you similar multipliers, a similar effect as like Turgenev TB, but the duration is shorter. It's like a newt duration, so you kind of have to be careful how you utilize it. It's really good for characters like, of course, Raven, but characters like Fischl and Haxor Bunny who also have multiple hits on their ultimate that can, you know, refresh the effect, constantly refresh the effect as it's going. But would I roll on this banner? No. I personally wouldn't. Remember, you never really roll on the banners just for the off rates, but the off rate Stigmata do make this more attractive if Elysia is your favorite character and you're trying to fully gear Miss Pink Elf out because, you know, she's your favorite and she has to be fully geared out. Apart from that, like, if we're looking at cutthroat min-maxing as our gauge on how to advise the account planning, this is an easy skip. It's late in the patch, you know, it's old gear. It's all filler gear, placeholder gear. I would just not. I would just save all the crystals for next patch, because there's probably something amazing next patch that you've been waiting for. Either a rerun of something that from the last 3 patches, or, you know, the new character, or the new equipment for Hersher of Sentience. Focus B. Paganini. Miracle Kissy Pillow. So, as a set, this is old, but was good. It was good on release. Carol was released at the tail end of 2021, along with APHO 2. It went Carol, then Silverwing, and then we had 5.5, right? So Carol was a 5.3 battlesuit. I can't believe that Paganini's that old now. Paganini M you'll still see come up every now and then in specific fights where the enemy just has a really thick shield. And you'll even see this sometimes used in elemental teams to handle those really thick shields. MB is a great 2-piece, and then, you know, having 3 set is quite nice too. 3-piece more so for Carol's self damage. T-piece was nice for... you can make the T-piece work in a few situations. It's a placeholder piece. Get some free physical damage, and then also SP regen. It's not that remarkable, but not that entirely useless either. Just a lot of the effects here, like nowadays with Rebirth, a lot of players aren't really struggling with crit rate. And then basically that every 5 seconds is kind of the limiting factor. We've played around back in the day with Asuka with full Paganini to try to farm SP faster, and then we ran into the issue of now we're limited by the ult cooldown. Anyways, Key of Castigation. I had a comment on YouTube on last week's banner review. When is Key of Castigation coming back? And I was like, it'll probably show up in the off rates in a Focus B. I don't know if Key of Castigation will get its own banner anytime soon. I feel like Key of Castigation turned up a few times in the off rates for other banners during this patch as well. Anyways, Key of Castigation is here. Blood Dance. Haven't seen that one in a long time. Blood Dance, one of the old school, at this point, old school, but it was very meta back in like 2019, 2020 for 2-hander elemental support. We used to use Blood Dance everywhere. MA and Abyss. It was Himiko's time to shine. A lot of Himiko battlesuits saw action because they got to be the Blood Dance carrier. And even Rosa and Lilia on certain occasions were very powerful Blood Dance holders. Blood Dance carriers. Is it that urgent nowadays? No. But if you end up getting one of these, you can still use it. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago we were messing around in the side stages, and you know, with Himiko bringing the Blood Dance, you can actually clear some of the side stages without Hersher of Rebirth. Rebirth? Hersher of Truth. Hersher of Truth. Without Hersher of Truth's Elemental Breach, you could actually still clear some of the side stages. We did a run where it was like Dea Ancora on the Ignite side stage with just Ichan and a Blood Dance, and still cleared. It got a little close at the end, but, you know, it's still cleared. Basilisk's Image for Mobius, but also, funny enough, Basilisk's Image is a potential placeholder weapon for Luna. Not gonna be best in slot, no. But, you know, if you're not gonna have the gear, Basilisk's Image is actually in Battle Pass right now. Would I recommend it outright? That's a very situational pick. I probably would recommend against picking Basilisk's Image if you don't have Mobius. Unless you're dead set on like some really specific free-to-play plan, like I'm gonna pull Luna, but I'm not gonna pull gear. I'm gonna only use handle and placeholder weapons because I want to pull brick or something weird like that. In general, that's a very, very specific example. I don't think most players are gonna do that, but I'm sure, you know, someone out there might find that example helpful and they'd be like, okay. Remember, scale what your goals are, your expectations according to your goals, and scale what your account needs are according to your goals, and so on. Miracle Kissy Pillow is the uprate. It's still quite good. You can use it as a backup weapon for Prometheus if you don't have Prometheus' signature weapon. We've used Miracle Kissy Pillow on HOS in the past to boost the damage to try to get Equinox one-shots. Is it that urgent to have nowadays? I wouldn't say it's urgent, but I would definitely say, like, if you get a copy, hang on to it, right? Astral Ren White Dwarf, it's pretty old meta now, right? Now that Siren's available. Some players who do have Spina will find some utility out of this. Use that this week on DXY. Yeah, so this week on DXY, was it for Prometheus or was it on Carol? That's a great point, Nefer. So, for players that are interested in having a arsenal that enables like 0-second and 1-second kills, Carol still does help enable that. And, you know, okay, so it's on HOS. I can see that. Yeah. My point being, if you're not already an established account, it can be useful to have one in your inventory because it has more utility than you might think it does. Because you can move it around from Carol, Prometheus, HOS. Carol herself still has quite a few enabled 0 and 1-second and 2-second clears on double S bosses. We actually used to I remember we used to do Carol strats a lot back in 5.2 and so forth to enable a lot of the Mobius stuff. But I think back then we were running Nuadas on Carol. And again, that's just one of the things that's nice with fist weapons. It's like fist weapons end up being super versatile. So yeah, Miracle Kissy Pillow by itself still quite all right. Now, if you're a new player, if you're free to play and you're low budget, would I recommend you pull for it from this particular banner? Probably not. I would probably say you're gonna end up trying to find a Miracle Kissy Pillow from an off-rate on a newer banner. Either a rerun of a character's equipment from the last 2 or 3 patches, or maybe it's a Foca Expa in the upcoming 2 patches for a character you've been waiting on for a long time. So that's the caveat, right? That's the trade-off. Yes, it is still quite useful in specific situations. So Pyroraptor also gives the example. I got 2 Kissy Pillows from Kira Gear banner. And Kira is pretty recent, you know? Kira is pretty recent. So going for the gear and the stigmata here on this particular banner, I don't think is a great idea. It'll turn up in the off-rates in future banners as well. And that's kind of where you'll be wanting to try to get the pieces. Cerulean Flare, we've covered that one multiple times. It's a great placeholder. There's trick shots and trick tech available for it for high-level strats. I think the main strat that this bow is used for now is going to be, what, triple S BKE? Is that right, Nefer? This one still sees action on triple S BKE, but outside of that, we're not really using it as much for the tip-top tier. I could see, like, if you're a mid-tier account and you're still playing, like, old mid-meta Mobius strats, you could still make it, you know, make use of it. Maybe Wolf and Abyss. Okay, yeah. For the Mobius team, right? The Mobius team? Moby and Luna. Ooh, interesting. Future tech. So, for longtime players, we were given one of these for free from the Colostan arc back in 2021, 2022. Um, you know, eventually, if you get one, you just hang on to one. Lost Conviction for Aponia. Stigmata. What's good on the Stigmata? Handle and Willows. Both of those sets are craftable, but they're G4, so if you get 1 or 2 pieces, it saves you a lot of time. Bianca Theater. It's okay for physical. Paganini's great. Shakespeare Adrift is for Day Ancora, and Shakespeare Adrift is now also craftable, right? Was it craftable? No, I'll have to double check on that one. I feel like it is. Do you think they'll keep up the pace of Power Creep in Part 2, or do you think they'll change up their approach? I hope they change up their approach. I feel like right now Honkai 3rd Power Creep is like too predictable. And it doesn't really help the non-competitive players. And even for competitive players, like, it's very easy to doom post about. Because I remember, oh, back in 2020, oh, they're ramping up the Power Creep. Oh, this game's getting more pay to win. 2021 rolls around. Oh, they're ramping up the Power Creep. This game is getting more pay to win. MiHoYo is too greedy. 2022 rolls around. Oh, this game is getting more pay to win. The MiHoYo's ramping up the Power Creep. They're doing more scummy tactics. It's a never-ending cycle where, you know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I do hope they changed up their approach. I do feel like, in a way, part of the charm of Honkai 3rd is that there's that competitive atmosphere. And the current system enables 2 things. One is the current pace means that as long as you're playing the game and you're pulling forward in the meta, you can always catch up because you play the next meta. And then, you know, people at the top who go inactive, they basically lose their spot. And because they went inactive and now they don't have the new tech. So, where am I trying to go with this? I personally wouldn't mind as much if the game was less maintenance and more casual, but then the game loses its identity and loses its charm, right? One of the things that a lot of hardcore Honkai 3rd players, they don't want to see is for this game to be as casual as Genshin and Star Rail, where they're fun games, but once you get to the end, the stakes aren't as high. And so it comes down to, you know, what are you looking for as a player? Do you want that competitive atmosphere? Do you want to be sweaty? Because the balancing factor is, if you don't want to be a sweaty player in Honkai 3rd, you can still, with some level of account plan, some like very minimal account planning, you can dominate Red Lotus. Maybe not dominate, but you can comfortably clear and retain Red Lotus. And then eventually you work your way into Red Lotus Nirvana bouncing if that's something that you're interested in. With just careful planning. Even as a low budget, even as a free to play. It'll take time. It'll for sure take time. So, on the one hand, I hope they tone down the power creep, but they might not. Another factor is, will the power creep affect the majority of players? Only if they read too much into the top-down trickle of information, right? You read too much into the paratext, like, if all you do is watch Marissa and Wyvern vids, and all you do is study the charts, of course you're gonna get it into your head that you absolutely have to have the latest gear. Just because you have the latest gear, but you don't know the rots, or you don't understand the underlying concepts of how to rotate and adjust rotations based on what you don't have, there is still room to outskill your way into the higher brackets, if that's something that you want to do. The trade-off, of course, is if you're not spending money, you gotta spend more time studying the strategies and problem solving your own, your own teams. People forget that you can just pull for characters you like in this game. Yeah, that's true. Cupcake says, I left both HSR and GI because there's no competitive endgame. Yeah. Some people just want the competitive endgame, and then some people don't care. Would I recommend any player roll on this banner? No. This is an easy skip. Skip everything here and just save. Skip this. Skip this. Skip this. Save for next patch. Alright? Save your dorm tickets for next patch. Easy. Dorm supply. I mean, banner review. Supply review. Done. Skip everything. Save. Good luck, captains. See you next time. Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Take care.